Hello everybody, my name is Eric, and today I want to just talk about sort of an update on the Disney null bulge story that we covered a couple months ago. So, a fair amount has happened, and what we were all curious about, I think, was what happened to, in my opinion, the real victim of this story, much more so than Disney, who really didn't lose anything. I mean, they got a bit embarrassed maybe, but they didn't lose any money. That is Matthew J. Van Andel, the person who Nullbulge smeared with lies, such as claiming he was an inside guy, doxed his social security number, his medical records, and ultimately cost him his job at Disney. And he hasn't been able to find another job because, in addition to that, there were a couple of publications that, let's just call them irresponsible, decided to repeat that claim without doing 5 seconds of research. So if you Google his name, some people do list him as an insider, despite the fact that that is completely untrue. And that is a big part of why I'm making this video, is to help get the word out about what's happened, the fact this guy is innocent, and if you are able to, I think supporting his GoFundMe is a good cause. I sent him some money. I think it'd be good if other people did, if they're able to, obviously. This situation just sucks. That's really all that can be said. But now I'm going to read this because it's genuinely, when I saw this, I was upset. I was not happy. Just a few weeks ago, our big brother Matt, who also goes by Dutch, was recently the victim of a vicious hacker. This criminal has taken the most extreme measures to destroy his career, his finances, his reputation, and every aspect of his personal well-being. The extent of these malicious acts, which are continuing to unfold, affect the life and security of not only himself, but those of his family and 2 young children. After gaining access to a family computer, the hacker watched our brother and his family for months, stealing every piece of personal information they could get their hands on, and information about his career. Now, unfortunately, of course, if you remember, what happened is the Slack account must have been logged into on this computer. And Slack doesn't have great security practices, so as a result, getting this account allowed this individual to download the entirety of Disney's record in Slack, like everything that had been sent in that chat. Now, at some point, Matt found that he was hacked, at which point the hacker made his presence known to Matt and tried to extort him for additional information. Matt, being the good guy he is, instead told Disney and went to the authorities. Hacker retaliated, of course, by dumping all of his private information, and I agree, this is to make it so that if, of course, this guy's not having a good time either. The hacker, I should be clear, is not having a good time, so he's not doing anything anymore. This was so that if he had had further success, he could have been able to make it much easier to get compliance. Now, for legal and privacy reasons, our brother cannot tell his story himself, but his family are telling the story. We are seeking the aftermath of a man who did the right thing, suffer horribly in the wake of this, and we want to tell you, beginning to unravel this will require skilled legal representation, which we're hoping to help him secure so he can put his life back together. Since there are open investigations involved as the authority seeks out this person, we must intentionally refrain from disclosing too much information for the time being. But this will be a long road, and my brother and his family need and deserve help. He did the right thing, and evil, immoral people have taken measures to completely destroy both him and his family for that. This is to get him counsel as well as help his family. Now, not to tell him what to do, my advice, just from what I know, and I don't know what his discovery process looks like, I don't think, unless the plan is to do something with Disney, I don't think trying to sue the hacker in this case is a good idea. There was functionally no money made from this criminal enterprise. So there's really, like, the guy just, you can win a lawsuit, but if the loser doesn't have money to pay you, you don't get any money. So I would not go that route, but ultimately it's his decision. So now I'm going to look at this. It's an LA Post article where they go into more detail about what's happened. And this is from a couple of months ago. Siblings of Disney engineer named in alleged hack defend his innocence. He did nothing wrong and his entire family has been ruined. In July, hackers claimed they had access to over a terabyte of Disney internal communications. The hackers, they allege, had the help of a man on the inside, whose personal information they posted on their website. Whether or not a breach actually occurred has not been independently verified. Update, yes it has. The named employee, Matthew Van Andel of Los Angeles, has maintained he was an unwitting victim. Now his siblings have spoken to the LA Post to present their perspective and an attempt to clear his name. Now, our man says, and this is good to have this confirmed, his computer was hacked through an AI image generator. Specifically, this was the project, and we can find this. This was for Comfy UI, which is Comfy UI is a very popular AI image generator. LLM Vision essentially allowed you to use an LLM, which is like ChatGPT, to give you a better prompt for the AI image generator. It's a pretty cool idea. But Nullbulge got his hands on code for an add-on that was genuinely useful for this and added a little bonus, and that's how this ended up happening. Now, a lot of people are saying this is really, you should be careful to not download this, and then they update the thing, and they say, keyword what? Yeah, and there's this thing about how Applebot is a different... No, Applebot is not a real person. I don't know. I think he screwed up his OPSEC somewhere and he's going to make up a lie. You can Google Applebot ZZ and you will find nothing legit. So that's just lies and deflection. But there we go. Comfy UI was a real program. Then we got our hands on it. Maybe check us out and think twice about releasing AI tools on such a weakly secured account. I just, the smugness here, it's just so cringe. It's like, this guy thinks he's the biggest supervillain. It's like, bruh, you're not doing any good. You're not anonymous. I mean the group Anonymous. You're just a clown. So they started stealing his credit card and banking information. But then they realized, of course, this guy works at Disney. We can do way more damage. Initially, they refer to Matthew as their inside man and claimed they released his personal information after he cut off their access. Well, of course, what they mean is cut off his access is like, yeah, he found there was malware on his computer and removed it. That's cutting off access. Now then he starts getting threats and extortion. Matthew immediately alerted Disney, the FBI, and local police, which was good. Now, of course, there we go. Well, that was posted. He's been trying to find a job. And of course, the tech job market isn't great right now. But what makes it worse is he's got these lies posted about him. And in fact, if we Google Matt's name, let's go to the first one for Matthew J. Van Andel. We ask Matthew J. See, they put this up. And yeah, this is awful. I've actually thought, and I might do this, and I think this is a good thing to do, is some of the ones that are ranking highly for his name, just emailing the people who wrote these articles and just saying, this is wrong, if you could correct this, it'd be a great idea. Because ultimately, I don't think any of the people who wrote these articles did anything malicious. I think they just didn't do enough research, and ultimately they got some critical elements of the story wrong. I have decided to add my own public statement. I don't know if this is from Krista or Matt himself. Everyone knows that fraud and hacking exists. But until recently, I have to admit I was naive to how extensive, personal, and egregious these acts could be allowed to reach in no time at all. What is more, I was also naive to the total lack of recourse our society has created to protect those who have fallen victim to such crimes. Our legal system, our employment systems are not built for the common person. It is not a playing field. Oh, it's his brother. My brother is Matthew J. Van Andel. Unfortunately, you can Google his name now. He was the victim of a vicious hack that made major media outlets, but none of them got the whole truth. While we've been forced to watch my brother and his family suffer things no one should have to suffer, biggest injustice here is that the one good man in this was allowed absolutely no recourse to protect himself. No path to justice, no protection or comfort. The system is failing him. He did the right thing, and the system is in no way designed to help protect him or help him defend himself. If we do not learn from this, criminals will continue to thrive and grow in number, and this will become less and less of a unique story. Less of us will have the luxury of being naive to these realities, like my brother and my family have now become. And of course, yes, you would think they would just get the money, but this guy wasn't about money. What he wanted to do, this is my opinion, because, look, I haven't done an interview, but maybe, look, after the legal case over, maybe we can do an interview. I would do it, honestly, just to try and understand this more. But what I think is, truthfully, this guy, and that is why he wanted attention. He wanted attention from me, which he got, of course. He wanted me to talk about this because what he ultimately wanted to do is create fear. He's like a Scooby-Doo villain. He doesn't like AI, doesn't like mod piracy. Okay, fine. There are people. So his idea is we will ruin the lives of people who do those things so that people will be intimidated and they won't do that anymore. That's the idea. That's what this guy was trying to do. Did it work? I don't think it did. I genuinely don't. But that was the idea. Now, as he says here, when they noticed he worked for the most recognizable company on the planet, they saw an opportunity for attention. What they did not count on was their victim caring more about what was right than what was easy. When the criminal noticed where he was employed and attempted to blackmail him for additional information, brother didn't comply. The hacker went to great lengths to ensure he would be made an example of, so his life would be totally ruined, so he could get more attention and make it more difficult. Next time someone fell into such a situation, he could say, look, I did dump his social security number on my website. I'll do it to you too. That it's almost terrorism. It's just horrific what's going on here. And then we've got some pictures of his family. It's just senseless is really what it is. Now this guy, like if this is about AI or mod pirate, this guy is not the CEO of OpenAI. He doesn't do, like, he wanted to show an AI image generator to his kids. That's what happened here. Like, this is so disproportionate, so disgraceful. This is not a guy who, like, works at OpenAI or Stable Diffusion or whatever company he's mad at. You know, that's just not it. Ruining this guy's life does nothing to stop AI or mod piracy or whatever else. It's just not how it works. Making this nuclear outcome only makes the whole, honestly, it makes the whole anti-AI cause look worse. It makes it look like being anti-AI is this fringe position for insane people who do things like this. It's not going to make people be turned off from AI. Look, I don't have an issue with AI. I do understand there are real problems, especially with stuff like image generators, where in some cases these tools are hurting artists' livelihoods. That's not a good thing. Being a professional artist is probably the hardest job in the world. It is incredibly difficult to make ends meet, and I get that. What I do not get is what's happening here. It's just terrible. So really, I guess that's pretty much the end of this video. Sorry if I'm rambling a bit. I'm genuine. It's like, you know, most of the time, right, I'm just basically, you know, I'm just telling you something, and usually we're just looking at malware or software or something. This story is genuinely upsetting. It's cruel. I don't even really have words. So that's going to be all for this video. I really hope things improve for Matt. If you have money you can spare, sending it to him is, in my opinion, a good cause. If you're in the Los Angeles area and you're looking for someone with his skill set, I'll just pull up his GitHub. Guy clearly knows what he's doing, had a long and successful career with Disney, has had other successful careers. You can come see some of the code he's written here. If this is the kind of work you're looking for, I suggest reaching out. That's going to be all for me for now. Bye.